Hey everyone, Miss Dempsey here. This is Guide for round 10 of the Manufacturer Series exhibition season. Let's get this started. For this first turn, you want to bring yourself to the left side of the track. Look for a path that is just before the 50-meter mark, as that is your first braking point. Start to turn in at the path and control your braking so you can slow down while still having the ability to turn. Then ease off of the brakes, let the car cruise for just a moment, so no braking, no throttle, and when the curb on the right ends, that is when you can start to accelerate. Now the S's are all about throttle control. You just want to ease off of the throttle just enough so the car can hit the apex. For this right turn, you want to use just a little bit of braking, bring yourself to the right side of the track, then lift off of the throttle as you make this left turn. Don't be too impatient, otherwise you will end up going off track. Now stay on the left side of the track, quick burst of braking before the 50-meter mark, take advantage of this apex, then brake before the curb on the left ends, longer burst of braking, quickly get the car to rotate by easing off of the brakes, and carefully accelerate. Don't get too much onto the green, otherwise you will understeer onto the wall. Now for the hairpin, you want to brake just as the curb on the right ends, and you want to be careful about braking here, as it is really easy to brake just a little too late and end up overshooting the turn. And just get the car to quickly rotate, and you can be pretty aggressive as you accelerate out of the turn. Look for a path that is on the right, as that is your next braking point. Brake hard for a short moment, quickly ease off of the brakes, accelerate for a quick moment, then brake before the curb on the right ends, and just control your braking power so you can bring yourself to the left side of the track. When the curb on the left ends, you should be at full throttle, and just make sure you don't hit the green stuff on the right, as that will cause the car to slow down or even spin out. Bring yourself to the right side of the track, look for the 50-meter mark, as that is your turning point, and you want to quickly ease off of the throttle, then get back on it, avoid the green stuff on the right. Finally, brake in between the 100 and the 150-meter mark, brake hard for a short while, take advantage of the apexes on both parts of the chicane. So you can get on the curbs right here, and you can actually get onto the mint green area, as that is still considered on track limits. So you can get on that, just do a short lift, then quickly get on the throttle, and if you have a good lap time, stay on the right side of the track. If not, go to the left side of the track to build up a bit more speed and start your new lap. For the qualifying session, you're going to have 10 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time. Slipstream is going to be useful here, so you want to try to make sure that you can get the slipstream from someone as you're about to start a new qualifying lap. The slipstream will come into use at the main straight, and pretty much the second half of the track, starting from the hairpin towards the end of the lap. As you're starting your first qualifying lap, you just want to make sure that you are a little careful as you go through the chicane, so you don't get any track limit penalties or make an error as you exit the chicane. And just bring yourself to the left side of the track to build a bit more speed, and then start your qualifying lap. Once again, just try to make use of the slipstream, so you need to be within 3/4 of a second behind someone. And as you go through your qualifying lap, you just want to be careful, especially as you go through these first couple of turns, as it's going to be really easy to mess it up, and you'll have to either keep on going to get a bad qualifying time and start your next qualifying lap, or do the jump out and jump back in strategy. You normally want to do this as you end your first qualifying lap here at Suzuka, so this is where you press options, exit, and on the lobbies you press enter course, or during the race day you press the qualifying button. This will save you from having to do an in lap and having to do all of the piss up animations. And yeah, this is another example here. I overshot this turn, completely messed it up, and I still have time to try to get a qualifying lap in, so I'm just going to spawn back at the pit box and just start it all over again. So you're not going to have too many chances to try to get a good qualifying time, so make sure you make your chances count. Before we get to the race strategies, I just want to note that you're going to be on cold tires, so you're not going to have all the grip that you need until around laps 2 or even 3. So as you go through this track on your first lap, you just want to be a bit more careful about how you're driving, especially through this first turn, because if you're not careful, you're going to be going off track before you even know it. So I just want to put that out there. Just be careful. Wait until your tires warm up 1 to 2 laps in, and then you can start to push. Now going on to fuel, that is luckily not an issue, so you don't have to worry about that. This is more of a tire race, so you want to decide whether you want to go with a 2 or a 3 stop. So as we see from the chart right here, the racing soft tires don't last too long here. They last around 6 laps, so you can either do 6 laps on the soft tires, 8 to 9 laps on the racing medium tires, and then the rest of the laps on the racing hard tires. That is for the 2 stop. Or for the 3 stop, you can do 6 soft, 5 medium, and then 1 hard. The 3 stop is going to be slightly quicker than the 2 stop, partly because you're spending more time on the softer tire compound. And because of that, you're not going to be spending as much time on the racing medium and hard tires. For the racing medium tires, you're lapping around 1 second per lap slower than the racing soft tires. And for the racing hard tires, you're lapping around 2 seconds per lap slower than the racing soft tires. So once again, you're not going to want to spend too much time on the racing medium and the hard tires. And even though you do an extra pit stop with the 3 stop, you're still going to end up going slightly faster than the 2 stop. And once again, that is because you're spending more time on the faster tire compound. Speaking of tires, the racing medium and hard tires are required for this race, so make sure that you equip those tires so you don't get a 1-minute penalty that gets applied at the end of the race if you do not put one or both of them on. And another thing is to adjust the brake balance to try to get the most even tire wear possible. So for example, in the Dodge Viper, you can bring the brake balance to 3 or 4 towards the back of the car to try to ease off some of that tire wear from the front tires. It'll vary between each car, so make sure that you give your car a test run, find out which tires are wearing out faster, and then adjust your brake balance to try to even out the tire wear. So now we're taking a look at the pit stop sequence. It does take a little bit of time for your car to approach into the pit box, and the pit stop sequence is going to be around 16 seconds. Pit loss is just over 10 seconds. So we're going to take a quick look at the 2 stop. So once again, this is where we go 6 laps on the soft tires, 8 laps on the racing medium tires, and then you can do the rest of the laps, so 4 laps on the racing hard tires. And if you notice on the top left corner of the screen, I'm actually doing 9 laps on the racing medium tires, and that is because I used up a bit more fuel, so the tire wear is going to be a bit easier on the car. But you're still going to want to try to be careful, as it's going to make the car a bit more unstable as the tire wear progresses. So for example, in the Dodge Viper, the car becomes a lot more understeery, so you want to be careful as you go through the turns, especially the sharper ones. And the thing that doesn't really make me a fan of the 2 stop is that you're spending more time on the racing medium and hard tires, so it's going to be a bit harder for you to be on the offensive. So you're going to have to spend more time playing on the defensive. So if someone is attacking you, you have to try to hold them off or just let them by if they are on the softer tire compound. So at the end of the day, you're left with the 2 stop and the 3 stop. We're not talking about the 1 stop because that strategy is not viable. So the 2 stop is possible for cars that are really light on their tire wear. So if your car is really good on that, it is possible to pull it off, but just remember that you're spending more time on the racing medium and hard tires, so you will be playing a bit more on the defensive. The 3-stop is going to be suitable for all cars, especially cars that have heavy tire wear, so you can take advantage of the 2 racing soft stints, which means that you'll be spending less time on the racing medium and the hard tires. And if you're in a front wheel drive, your tires are going to be wearing out really fast, so you can even try to do 5 laps on the racing soft tires, another 5 laps on the racing soft tires, 6 laps on the racing medium tires, which leaves 2 laps on the racing hard tires. And if you're starting in the middle or in the back, you can start on the harder tire compounds, just get those out of the way, which means that you can save the faster tire compounds for the second half of the race. But that is pretty much it from me. I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. So this is Mr. Messier, wishing you a good race, and I'll see you in the next video.